So recently I got this DM on Instagram. Hey Austin, I've been having problems with my sexual performance and I was wondering if you had any tips and not just the ordinary run of the mill, think of something else to last longer. Would be a great help if you did. So I read that message and I thought to myself, man, Austin, come on. So I read that message and thought to myself, I've had many business meetings, if you know what I mean, guys. So with that being said, I'm gonna be real. My sex game is on point. Ask your ex-girlfriend, ask your ex-girlfriend, ask the girl who you're talking to, right? No, I'm just kidding, guys. But truth is, my sex game is on point. I'm not even gonna lie. And that's brought to me upon experience. So with that being said, in this video, I do wanna provide you some sex tips that's gonna make your sex game on point even more. And because of that, you're gonna be able to keep women around longer, because let's not kid ourselves, sex game is super important. You can be the most attractive guy ever, the most charismatic, charming guy, best personality ever, but if you are whack in bed, she will cheat on you, look the other way, eventually leave you, and God knows what else, all right? So with that being said, take these tips, listen actively, and take action, all right? Subscribe, like the video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So before we start talking about how to actually physically be better in bed, what I've learned is that it starts up here in the head. And what I mean by that is that you have to increase your overall sexual desire. And how do you do that? Two main ways. Number one, increase your testosterone. Number two, stop watching porn. Let's go to the first point, right? So increasing your testosterone. There are many ways you can increase your testosterone. It could be from, supplementing with some herbal supplement. It could be, sustaining from masturbation and ejaculating, right? Or it could be just implementing little habits to make yourself feel better. Example, drink more water, sleep longer. All these things you can do to increase your testosterone. I'm not gonna get deep into that on this video, but point is, the reason why you need to increase your sexual desire is because your sexual desire is a direct translation to how you act and perform in the bedroom. At least with myself is what I've noticed. I've noticed that whenever, time periods of my life when I was watching a lot of porn, or I just had low sexual energy and low sexual desire, though I was still able to get it up, if you know what I mean, just overall the performance wasn't as aggressive and dominating as what it usually would be. And those are some of the qualities that makes sex good, at least from a woman's perspective, right? So with that being said, if you're watching a lot of porn, quit it. You'll see a big difference in regards to your sexual desire and how you actually perform in the bedroom. And alongside with that, take some actions to actually increase your testosterone. Figure out where you fall in line in regards to your testosterone range, and then try to enhance that as much as possible. So with point number two, we're gonna talk about the stroke game. After the mental game, this is where we're gonna get into the physicality of things once you're actually doing it, right? And I know a lot of you guys watching this video, some of you guys can't even get to the point of even getting a girl in your bed. So you can watch this video to be proactive, but truth is you actually need some other help in other areas. I'll leave a link down below if you know what I mean for that one. But in regards to when you're actually with the chick, your stroke game needs to be on point. And there are two different variables that will dictate whether or not your stroke game is on point. Number one is gonna be the power of the thrust. The power of the thrust. So the power of the thrust is very often overlooked, but I'm gonna give a visual example of this, right? So if you're being very soft with your thrust consistently, there's a time and place for it, but if you're consistently being very soft with your thrust, chances are you're probably not stimulating her to her full force max capability. And that could be because you're purposely not doing powerful thrusts or strokes, or because you're just weak. So with that being said, one thing I've noticed that will help a lot of men, including myself, stroking, is to do deadlifts, RDLs or Romanian deadlifts, hip thrusts, etc. The hip thrusts when girls are in the gym, thrusting the weight up, looking like they're humping the air. Doing those and doing RDLs and just overall training your posterior chain will over time make the strength and the power of your thrust more and more powerful, so that she actually feels some sort of penetration. Guys, that's all I'm trying to say. Now, alongside with the power of your strokes, number two is the length, or the stroke length of it. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. This is gonna play a part into the size, right? Because let's not kid ourselves, size also does matter. However, whether you be 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7, 8, doesn't matter. As long as you're at least average, this is gonna work. So basically, you wanna make sure that you're doing full, deep strokes. As my guy Steph says, you need to dig until she mother bust. And how you do that is by doing full length deep strokes, guys, all the way out to where, you know, you're about to come out, and then all the way in to where your pelvis is literally on her butt cheeks, or wherever it's going to be at, whatever position you're in. I know this is getting very graphic and X-rated, but in order to get better at these things, you have to talk about these things in this sort of detail, otherwise you're not gonna understand. Let's not kid ourselves. All this really isn't gonna matter if you can't even get it up in the first place. Or let's say you get it up and it's not even as pumped, if you know what I mean, in the first place. That is why today's sponsor of the video, Blue Chew, will help you do just that and improve everything I just mentioned. Blue Chew is a service that helps people get access to convenient, affordable tablets that will help men be stronger and harder, if you know what I mean. Personally, I've been using the Blue Chew service for over 2 years now, and it's really given me an edge on my performance in the bedroom. The best part about Blue Chew is that it requires no in-person doctor visits. Everything is done online and discreetly. It comes in this little packet right here, and it's a chewable tablet that you can take at any time discreetly, and it's a lot cheaper than just regular Viagra or Cialis. So my go-to is Tadalafil. Right here, I have 9 milligrams, but they also have another one, which is Sildenafil, or hopefully, I always pronounce it wrong, man. Is it Tadalafil or Sildenafil? You gotta figure out which one you work best for you. I like Tadalafil because it stays in your system longer. However, some of you may like this one, right? You gotta find which one works best for you and what you're trying to achieve and do. Speaking of do, the process is easy. All you gotta do is just chew it, then do it. So if you're ready to take your bedroom game to the next level, then check out Blue Chew in the link down below and use my code DUNHAM. Now, let's move on to the next point. All right, so we talked about the mental and now the physical. Next things up, I wanna talk about the verbal or the action once you're actually engaging in the bedroom. And there's this one principle that you need to remember and always remember, that is lead. Lead the situation, lead whatever you guys are doing, lead to the outcome. As a man, unfortunately, whether or not sex is good will be fully almost dependent on you. Girls, all they have to do is really just lay there and, you know, bam, that's pretty much it. If she's a really good girl or trained or experienced, then you might experience some other stuff, but for the most part, it's all on you. So with that being said, much like women expect you to lead when you're on a date, they also expect you to lead when you're in the bedroom. Meaning, don't ask her what she wants to do. Don't ask her, hey, do you want to turn around? Should we do this position now? Don't ask, just do. Do it. When you're doing it, take her, flip her around, change. If you want to stand her up, take her, stand her up, pin her against the wall, change. You always got to be asking yourself, how can I lead the situation and be within my masculine energy of being aggressive and dominant? I promise you, just being aggressive, dominant, and a leader in all scenarios within a male life pretty much, you will be A1, and that also includes your sex game. So stop asking questions what she wants to do. Just lead her where you want her to go physically, even if that means being dominating, because they love it. They love it, bro. Trust me. Now, the last tip of advice I want to give, and this will help you last longer, and this is very unorthodox advice. Most guys would not get this advice I'm about to say, but this has definitely worked in my life. And you got to be very, very careful before you do this, what I'm about to say. And also, if you have no self-control, then I highly don't recommend you do this, but it is called edging. Edging is basically where you engage in self-pleasure, but you stop at the point to where you feel like you're about to, you know what, right? You stop there, you kind of reset a little bit, wait, and then you go again and you repeat that a few more times. Now, why on earth would somebody push themselves to a point of almost climax and stopping? Well, the reason is because it kind of trains your body to not ejaculate. And so with that being said, if you're one of those guys who deal with premature ejaculation or can't last long, and like the guy told me in the original message, like having to think about something else and how lame that is, try edging if you have the self-control. Do it just a few times a week, right? You don't even have to watch porn when you do this. So you can do this off imagination or just sensation filling, and try it out, and then train your body to withstand the point of ejaculating or climaxing. And then when you do that in practice, when you get into the game, and the game is sex with a woman, then you'll be able to actually last longer, and this has been proven. I've done a lot of research on this, and I've done this myself for years now. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've done it for years, guys. And that's when I had the ability, and I always brag about this to the women who I've slept with. I'm like, I come when I want to. Like, it's not like, oh, this is so amazing, I came. It's because I wanted to. It's because I was getting too tired. It's because of whatever reason. Point is, I did it because I wanted to, and not a lot of guys can say that, all right? So take into all these points, and hopefully that wasn't just generic advice. Like I said, it was a bit unorthodox, and some things aren't the norm. However, try it out and let me know how it works for you. Don't forget to check out Blue Chew down below. Do it. If you want strong, harder, lasting erections that will make you go for rounds, I'm not even kidding. I go like 2-3 rounds whenever I'm on Blue Chew, right? So all links will be down below. Subscribe, like the video. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.